pig ignorant, dumb as an ox, silly cow, bird brain. But as you will see, these labels no longer fit what we now know about animals.
That's okay, you're doing good.
Pigs can use computer joysticks.
Oh, good boy, that was good.
Hens can learn from watching TV. But we allow these animals to be treated in ways that we wouldn't dream of treating our pets. The nearest most of us come to farm animals is in the supermarket, where we buy their meat, milk and eggs. But do we know how intelligent and sensitive they are, the conditions they're reared in, and how the decisions we make every day directly affect their lives? Recent scientific research has discovered that farm animals are far from stupid. This hen has spent her whole life living in a small cage. Despite a life in a cage, this hen has learned how to navigate this obstacle course to get to a nest box. Driven by her instincts, she has to use her intelligence. The computer won't open the door until she pecks 3 times. Her instincts tell her she's about to start a family and she should find a suitable place to build a nest. In this feeding experiment, the hen has learnt from watching television in which bowl to find food. Even when offered a yellow bowl, she goes for the red one, as seen on TV.
Omelette, get to work. Omelette.
It's not only birds. This is Hamlet. He's amazed animal psychologists by learning a computer game designed for chimpanzees. Hamlet has to move the cursor into the blue area around the screen. When he does, he gets a sweet. The scientists make it progressively harder for Hamlet, yet he succeeds every time. Can other animals do this? Here's Lex, a Jack Russell dog. Lex is willing, but even after a year, he hasn't quite got it and needs help. Hamlet can do it without help and can learn to distinguish between different shapes. This and other experiments have shown that pigs are at least as, if not more intelligent than dogs.
Almost there.
But how does Hamlet compare to chimpanzees?
These pigs have made the connection between joystick operation and these simple side tasks even faster than most chimpanzees and much faster than some chimpanzees.
In the outside world, occasionally pigs get the chance to display their intelligence. This notorious twosome escaped from a slaughterhouse pen. They knew something was up and they were off. Nothing stood in their way.
They kept going. I think they thought about it for about half a second and thought that was better than where they were going originally. And so they jumped into the river and that was it. They were swimming. I've never seen anything like it, really. Swimming pigs.
The daring pigs touched the nation's heart so much that they were saved from slaughter and now live in a sanctuary. But pigs can not only save themselves, they can also save us.
Hey, be careful now.
This reconstruction retells a remarkable rescue story, 999 style.
Somebody help him!
When she heard the scream of the boy, she quite naturally swam directly to him.
Richard, grab it!
The boy grabbed her harness and they both went under twice before she got her swimming stroke, but she knew that it was either do or die. If she didn't get that swimming stroke, that she too would drown.
It seems that pigs are far from ignorant. The animals we care for at home, like dogs, get special treatment. We become very fond of them. Most people don't think of pigs in the same way. Why not? Are they just pieces of meat, or living, breathing, thinking and feeling creatures? So how have we come to treat farm animals so differently from the way we treat pets? In medieval times, nearly everybody worked on the land, and the cowherds and shepherds stayed with animals at all times. This was animal husbandry. In more recent centuries, farming has become more of a business, but even in the 1930s, most farms were run by families who really knew each animal. Then, after the Second World War, the government wanted Britain to produce all the food it needed itself. To increase production, farming was transformed almost overnight from a business to an industry. It's called intensive farming, and one of its main characteristics is the factory farm. Inside is a warehouse of mass production, where thousands of broiler or meat chickens live cramped together with no space to spread their wings and no daylight. This factory system is designed to make them grow as quickly as possible. This makes meat plentiful and cheaper, but is it fair on the chicken? Imagine if we decided to do the same with your school. What sort of economies could we make that would save money and make it more efficient? Take this classroom. The size is carefully worked out for your health and comfort, but surely we could fit more people in. That looks a bit better. We've doubled the number of pupils. But do we really need the desks? That's more efficient. It would make education cheaper, and we could call it intensive schooling. Are there other savings we can make, like they do with mass-produced chickens? Are they allowed to roam freely outdoors? No. So you won't be needing your playground. Have your breaks in here. And we don't need the canteen. Just look at all that wasted space. We'll bring the food to the room. Do we really need loos? This would save the taxpayer an awful lot of money. Lights out. Of course, living this intensively with so many other pupils, we would expect tempers to get frayed, so the dog will keep you calm. There's still a problem. Crowded conditions encourage disease. To solve that, you could send round soft drinks packed with penicillin. This would be efficient, but would you like it? In addition to the crowding, meat or broiler chickens have been selectively bred to put on weight very quickly. The chicken on the left is a normal-sized egg layer. The chicken on the right is a broiler selectively bred for meat. He grows so much faster, putting on weight at an extraordinary rate. So you don't have to look after him for very long before you can sell him for slaughter. More money for lower costs. But putting on weight this fast has its consequences. The body gets too big for the legs. The legs can then collapse under the strain. Thousands of chickens are painfully crippled by the time they reach their slaughter weight. For some, it's difficult to eat or drink. This bird is very thirsty, but can't stay upright long enough to drink what he needs. If the crippling gets worse, he'll die. Hens who lay eggs have their factories too, the battery system. Each battery cage allows less floor space per hen than the area of an A4 piece of paper. Here the hen is kept to produce 1 egg a day. The eggs are cheap, but would you like to be treated in this way? Have you ever been kept in detention for something someone else did?
Who was that?
Right, you, I've had enough of it now. Attention tonight.
Not me.
Don't give me that. I know it was you.
It's not fair, is it? But is this fair on battery chickens either? They've done nothing, but they're still kept in. Not just for an hour, but all day, every day. And each time you buy a battery egg, a hen has been kept in for a day. Each time you buy a free-range egg, it's a chicken's day out. Hens, like all modern chickens, are descended from jungle fowl, a wild bird which lives in the forests of India and Southeast Asia. In their natural environment, all chickens exercise by scratching around for bits of food. When they get dirty or greasy, they dust bathe. The dust absorbs the grease and they feel comfortable again. In the battery cage, they try to follow their natural behaviour, but you can't dust bathe without dust. The battery cage is to be banned in Europe from 2012. However, today most hens are still kept in battery cages. But not all farming today is in factories. Some farms have developed commercial systems which allow the animals the freedom to express most of their natural behaviour. On this free-range egg farm, the hens are kept in small groups. There are similar farms for the meat or broiler chickens, like this one. The chickens are free to roam and to go in and out of the shed. Shelters are provided where they can hide from predators and get out of the sun. There's plenty of dust to dust bathe, which they seem to enjoy. After years inside, free-range sows have recently returned to the British countryside, although their piglets are usually reared intensively. You can buy organic, free-range or outdoor reared pork in the shops, and likewise chicken meat and eggs. But it is more expensive. So for better conditions on farms, the shopper pays the price, not the animal. With intensive farming, meat has become progressively cheaper compared to a century ago when it was seen as a luxury. But while it's plentiful and cheap today, it's not actually the most efficient way to produce the food that gives us energy to live. When a pig eats corn, only about a quarter of the energy it consumes is turned into pork or bacon. The rest is either used in respiration to generate energy for exercise and for keeping warm, or it's wasted, ending up in the pig's feces. Factory farms try to prevent this energy being used up by limiting the chance for pigs to exercise and by keeping them in warm conditions, so more meat is produced instead. But even with intensive methods, the energy conversion from corn to bacon isn't very efficient. It would be more efficient to feed us the corn directly. In this way you could get several bowls of cornflakes for just one bacon sandwich. There is not just one way of rearing farm animals or producing food. We need food to live, but we can choose what it is, where it came from, and how it was produced. If you eat meat, then on average in your lifetime you'll consume 1,000 chickens, 45 turkeys, 30 sheep, 20 pigs, 4 beef cattle, the life's work of 35 laying hens, and all the produce of a dairy cow. To that you can add thousands of fish. The lives these creatures lead will depend on the choices you make. You can buy the cheapest meat and eggs. You can go for free range or organic. Or you can go vegetarian. Even living on a budget, very different types of food can be bought for the same amount of money. Large quantities of low-quality, mass-produced meat and eggs. A balanced and mixed diet of vegetables and pasta with smaller quantities of quality meat. Or loads of high-quality vegetables, fruit and vegetarian foods like bean burgers. Whatever you choose will be one of the ways you make a big difference to the amount of suffering in the world. Many people who feel strongly about animal welfare, such as the actress Joanna Lumley, have taken it further by campaigning to improve the lives of our farm animals. Here, people of all ages marched past the Ministry of Agriculture and left flowers to symbolise the cause.
Behind the ribbon.
Joanna Lumley and the actor Martin Shaw unveiled a cage of children with their faces painted to represent animals, and then released them. This was one of many campaigns organised by the pressure group Compassion in World Farming. Much progress has been made for farm animals. After a 25-year struggle, narrow veal crates in which calves were kept have been banned. After a long campaign in Britain, the sow stall cage has also been banned. After a major effort by animal welfare groups throughout the European Union, the end of the battery cage is in sight. In 2012, it too will be banned. These changes are the result of ordinary people collecting petitions, collecting evidence for court cases, lobbying their MPs, Parliament and MEPs, holding demonstrations and vigils. It's how you get things done in a democracy. Everybody can make a big difference to the welfare of farm animals.
Would you like to support Compassion World Farming? Thank you very much.
You can do this through the food you choose to buy. And you can speak up for the animals who can't speak for themselves. Campaigning continues today to ban the sow stall cage throughout Europe and to improve the conditions that broiler chickens live in. In this film we've seen that farm animals are intelligent and sensitive feeling creatures. In the last 50 years we've kept them more and more intensively in our efforts to provide cheap food. Now we need to decide whether it's right to go on like this. How do you think we should treat farm animals in the 21st century?